Jesus said unto his disciples, let us cross over to the other side. What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? It is another day, another time, and another week for yours and my favorite Monday night show. And I'm not talking about Monday Night Football. I'm talking about your favorite show, my favorite show. We'll Talk Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all, look, we are still in our I Survived It series. And when I tell y'all, these guests that we have had come on, it seems like every time their stories are just getting better and better and better and better and better. And tonight, y'all, it ain't gonna be no different. You all, I have seen this powerful young lady on another podcast, and immediately after that podcast was over, I'm reaching out to her like, yo, I gotta get you on the show. We had tried to get her on once before, some things didn't work out. But God already knew that this was the time for her to be on through this series of I've Survived It. You all see as an author, see as a mother, see as a wife, and see as a survivor to the top notch tier. I'm talking about my new friend and my new homie, Miss Unique. And I promise you, after y'all hear her story tonight, she's gonna be y'all's new big sis in your head. I promise you. I promise you. So after we play this 1 minute clip, the next face you will see is that of Miss Unique. And yo, if you ain't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you know what? I'm about sick of reminding y'all to subscribing. But you know what? You know what? I ain't even gonna play with y'all no more. I ain't even gonna play with y'all. Y'all gonna do what y'all want to do. All right. But we're gonna deal with this later. Let me find out y'all ain't subscribed by next week. Let me find out. Let me find out. Hey, how are you doing, sis?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking me. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. So, before we get too far into this discussion, because we're not even going to call it a show tonight, it's just going to be a conversation.
Hmm?
So, for those that may have been living under a rock like I have these last few years, inform the people of who you are, because I just gave them a snippet of your bio. Tell the people who you are, and then we'll get into this discussion.
Sure. So, my name is Unique. I am from Brooklyn, New York. I currently reside in Brooklyn, New York. I am a wife. I am a mother of four. And also, I'm in the medical field. I do nursing. I also have a book coming out. Just me as a person. I like to consider myself a DV advocate due to the fact that I am a survivor. And that's pretty much it.
All right. So, y'all, so, all right, let's get into this conversation tonight. So, When I say when I say to you, I survived it, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Strength.
Mm, I
Strength is
like that.
come to my mind.
I like that. I like that. So now I'm gonna give you a chance to tell your story to those that may not know, or what you can tell of your story, because we've already talked about it, and then we'll go in from the discussion from there. Go on ahead. The floor is yours.
Sure, thank you. So, I was dating a guy at the time. He was much older than me. At the time, he was 48 and I was 24. So, the first year, everything was going well. Being that I've never dated no one that much older than me, I thought that everything was going good. I had children, he had children. We both working. I'm just finishing college, to do my nursing thing. Everything is going fine. But I noticed after about a year, like I did see him like drinking more often, and then that led him to lose his job. Once he lost his job, I noticed it seemed like he was very agitated all the time, because at this point he lost his job. He's not doing so well. I'm doing well. I just graduated from college. I'm working a job, in the field of my choice. So I felt like this was a very good, part of my life right now, and and everything wasn't going so good for him. So it started a lot with agitation with him. He would pick arguments with me. I'm not too much of a confrontational person. So I would try to ignore it. And, when it's your significant other and you see that they went through something, you try to be there for them. You don't want to
Right. Right.
become part of the problem. You want to help them. So
Hmm.
that obviously didn't work. So within, I say, like a year and a half going into 2 years, it started with verbal abuse from him. He would call me a lot of names. After the name calling, when I had to go to work and things like that, it's just like he always tried to make me upset. And then I'll never forget the first time that he hit me. We were arguing. I believe it was like food or something, simple. And he slapped me. And when he slapped me, being that he was older than me and I was younger, I didn't know how to take it. And then being
Right.
I did love him, I didn't know how to accept what he did to me. Because when you love someone, you wouldn't
Exactly.
hurt you, you know. And then it didn't register like, wow, like he just hit me, and it was just a little debate. So from there, that one hit ended up from a slap to punches to eventually, a couple hospital stays. So from then, I couldn't take it anymore. This went on for maybe about a year. So I do have a strong family background. Like my mom and my dad is in my life, as well as my family. And I tried to hide everything from them due to the fact that I was embarrassed. And even being embarrassed, I was more like hurt because I didn't know how to accept what was happening in my life. It went from college, doing good relationship, to verbal abuse, to actual physical abuse. And like I said, I end up in the hospital a couple times. So from there, I started seeking out for help. I would talk to my mom about a few things because like I said, I didn't know how to handle this. So I decided that I wanted to leave. So I did leave the first time, and he would threaten that he would hurt my mom, my family, and my children. So of course, I went back. I felt like, which is, I understand now that it wasn't a good thing, but I put myself to blame because I'm like, I didn't want my family to get hurt behind the decision that I made to deal with this person. So
Right. Right. Right.
I decided to go back. And from there, it got worse. I started noticing like little baggies and things around my house. I don't do drugs or anything. Come to find out, he was on cocaine. So from the cocaine to the drinking, the beatings got worse. So pretty much the last straw that I had, I never forget, we had a fight to where I ended up in the hospital. I had to get stitches in my face. My arm was fractured. And I said, I cannot do this. So from that point on, I went to the police station. I said, I can't do this no more. I'm like, I'm being beat on. I don't know what to do because if I go back, he's going to kill me because that's what I felt due to the beatings that I was receiving. And I didn't want him to hurt my family because he knew exactly where my mom was. Every time I would try to leave, he would go straight to my mother's house and then threaten her. So they took me to the shelter. I stayed in the shelter for about like 2, 3 months due to the fact that I was working, with the system, everything, went kind of quickly. So I finally landed at an apartment. I decided to move. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but in New York, we have like, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and
Mm-hmm.
have a little area called Far Rockaway where it's like, we don't even consider that like a borough or anything. It's like its own place where not too many people stay there. So I
Right.
decided there because I wanted to go like in hiding because I didn't want him to find me. I just wanted to kind of just let my family know what was going on and didn't want anyone else to find me. So the first day that I moved in, I didn't have much furniture or anything, and I decided I'm like, I want to have a housewarming party. This is something good to me. Like, I finally landed an apartment. I finally got away from him. I was safe for a couple months. I felt good.
Right. Of course.
I lied to you not. After the housewarming party, because even the whole time, like, how they say you got to go with your instincts. Like, I felt something wasn't right, but I couldn't pinpoint what exactly it was. So from there, everyone left. I never forget, this was January. At that time, it was like Martin Luther King Day coming up. So that's how I remember it. So I'm like, let me clean up. Let me, go to work to get the overtime or whatever. I went to throw the garbage out and I seen him standing there. I couldn't freaking believe this because I'm like, how the heck did he find me? I'm
Right.
somewhere where no one really comes out here. Nobody really goes to Far Rockaway. I just moved in like the night before. I didn't really have any furniture or anything. Like you ever watch a movie and you be like, oh, if that was me, I would do this. I could not move. Like I froze and he's standing there looking at me. And then the moment like he went to chase me, like that's when I tried to run, but it was too late. He caught up to me. So to make a long story short, a fight occurred, because at this moment I knew that I was fighting for my life due to the fact that I left. He had a knife in his hand. I knew that he was going to try to end my life. So, flight or fright, I tried to defend myself. In the process of me defending myself, I blacked out. To this day, I still can't tell you like every detail that happened, but I know when I came to, like, it was blood everywhere, and I'm shaking and I'm not registering what's happening, but I did see like he was not moving. So due to him not moving, now the nurse kick in, and then this was somebody that I was dealing with, so I had to try to check him and see what's going on, and I called the cops. I'm like, look, me and my ex, we had a fight. He's on the floor. He's not breathing. I got blood on me. I don't even know what occurred. No knife is in my hand. None of that. And from there, they came. I can remember seeing like these blue and red lights, from the police coming. I'm still covered, like I'm crying because I'm trying to resuscitate him because I didn't see any, him breathing or anything. So I just know the regular officers came, then they called the detectives, and then they said DOA. So I'm like, DOA, everybody watch enough crime shows and stuff to know that that's dead on
Dead
arrival.
on arrival. Yeah.
Exactly. So when I heard that, I just started crying. I'm like, what are you talking about, dead on arrival? Like, and I couldn't really see because I didn't realize at the time that both my eyes were black. My mouth, I was completely messed up. So the ambulance, I could just remember them saying like, look, we gotta fix you. We gotta look, you look bad. Like we have to fix you. You need stitches and things, but it's not registering like dead. Like what do
You're
you mean?
like, wait, deal with me later. Like, what are y'all talking about? DOA.
Thank you. Oh, I do apologize. A call was trying to come
You
in.
are fine. You are fine.
All right. So from there I'm like, I'm okay. Like he's on the floor, he's not moving. Y'all talk about DOA, do some CPR, something. Like what are you talking about? It still wasn't registering to me. So, in the long run, they ended up taking me to the hospital and everything. And after they patched me up, gave me some stitches and stuff like that, they told me that they had to take me in. And I'm still not registering. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you have to take me in. Because they like, look, he died. But I'm like, from what? I just remember him having a knife. I'm trying to defend myself. I'm still not understanding what's happening. So to make a long story short, I end up doing 9.5 months in jail, Rosie's, Rikers Island. I'm quite sure everybody, if you heard about New York City, that's a terrible jail. But I had to go to jail for 9.5 months. They charged me with murder too. And pretty much after fighting my case, they acquitted me of all charges because they see I had order protections on him. I had restraining orders. I went to a domestic violence shelter. I did all the paperwork and everything that I needed to do. And, they got my hospital records. Once they seen everything, they acquitted me of all charges. And the crazy part, New York City does not have a self-defense law. So I'm the first girl in New York State to pretty much beat a charge like that under called justified. Yeah. It's something. Right.
So let me start from the end and work my way up to the beginning.
Sure.
You got all this stuff on this man. I mean, I'm talking restraining order. I'm talking paperwork. All this stuff on this man, and they still took you to jail for that much.
Yeah. Due to the fact, well, New York, I don't understand why. You can hit me, I can hit you, we can fight, we're both going to jail. It's still no self-defense law, which is amazing. And the crazy part, when it comes to domestic violence, I honestly feel that they failed me, because the times that, I was in a hospital, I would make like a
Why didn't they arrest him?
that's the thing. They will arrest him and they will let him right back out. And then when they let him right back out, I would get beat even worse. So I really felt like they failed me, but then, which I understand because a life was taken, but they waited until it led to that for me to be
That's
put
what I was about to say. So a life had to be taken before somebody got some serious time. But if they would have just done their job in the beginning
exactly.
and like told them like, yo, if we find out we went back over there to her, we're putting you in jail for some serious time.
Hmm. And the crazy part, they was trying to offer me 10 years.
But
10 years. So I remember fighting back and forth because I've never been arrested for anything. I've never committed no crimes. Like I said, I just finished college. Life was going good. So to be placed in jail and then to go back and forth to court, and they're like, oh, murder too, murder too. And I'm like, what? I was fighting for my life. How the heck murder?
yeah,
And
how am I getting murdered too for fighting for my life?
exactly. And then after that, they tried to what do they call it? Tried to get me for manslaughter. And I'm like, I'm not taking any of this, because if y'all would have arrested him and did everything that y'all was supposed to do with all the paperwork that I had, I would have never been put in this situation. But they kept letting him out, even me being hospitalized, having stitches, all of these things. They would let him right back out, get beat again, back in the hospital. It's so bad, like the emergency room where I was going, they started knowing my face. It's ridiculous. And then they would not keep him in jail. And then you keep me in jail for 9.5 months. It's like the system is just like, I don't understand it.
The system is jacked up.
They always wait until someone end up dead before they react, instead of being, trying to de-escalate things, or, they always wait until it's too late. And I'm a victim for that. I mean, I'm a survivor now because I've survived it, but I still feel like I was a victim due to the fact I was a victim of being in a domestic violence situation, and then I'm reaching out for help, and I was not getting no help.
Well, let me first start it off by saying this. I apologize to the upteenth degree that the system failed you the way that they did, because they definitely failed you.
Yes.
They dropped the ball big time.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it kind of reminds me of the story of Joseph, where Joseph looked at his brothers and said, y'all meant this for bad. God turned it around for my good.
Mm. Yeah, it's the world
The
we in.
joy that you get from it
Yeah.
is crappy that you had to go through it. But it's like now that you done came through it, you can help others that are going through that same thing.
Yeah. And this is why I try to, it's not a encouraging story. Yes, it's bad that someone had to lose their life, but the reason why I like to tell my story due to the fact there's people out there, men and women, because not only women go through this, men
Mhm.
and that go through these things, and they're scared to reach out to someone, or they're scared to call the cops, or scared to just even speak on what's happened, and due to the fact of embarrassment, or they don't know how to deal with this. So the reason why I do this is because, like, I am a survivor. I'm still here. I could have been the one. The shoe could have been on the other foot. I could have lost my life. I was reaching out for help. I was doing all the necessary things. But look, the God we serve is a strong and powerful God. And look, he took me out that situation. And I am still here to warn others. If you see any red flags, anything, go, leave, please.
Yeah. Don't think that it's don't think it's something cute like, oh, they just love me, that's why they do that. No.
Mm, nope. It's, yeah, like I said, I'm living proof of, what can happen. And like I said, it took me years. Oh, that's another thing I just wanted to touch on. Therapy. You know how some people, oh, you got to be crazy and all that. No, therapy helped me out tremendously dealing with a situation like this. Sometimes, you could talk to friends, family, and loved ones, and you might not want to tell them anything because you know them. And I still get therapy, not just to have someone to talk to, just to sometimes, as a mom, a wife, and just daily living. Sometimes you
You
just,
need that therapy.
yeah, you want to turn certain things off and just talk so someone can have that ear to listen. So that's another thing that helped me, going to therapy, and that helps as well. Like if you're going through, anything traumatic, not just domestic violence, that helps.
For real. Like I'm a definite prescriber of Jesus and therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. You need both. And another thing I'm a prescriber of is a gym. Every Saturday morning, I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm heading to the gym because I know ain't nobody really there at that time. I put my earpiece in, my headphones in, and I'm going to work. Because I'm like, this is my moment to where I don't have to be weapon lover at this moment. I can just deal, like, let out all my aggression, let out everything, leave it there, then come home and be like, all right, now let's conquer the rest of this weekend. Let's go.
That's right. And I 100% agree with that, because before I do anything, I don't know if anyone believe in, but I know that the God we serve is a powerful God. I always thank him before
Hmm.
anything. I try to say prayers before I drive, before I leave, ask God to
Come
shield
on.
me. And I thank him every day for waking me up. And then, from there, then I began my daily living and, motherhood and things of that nature. So, you have to have a strong belief for the most high God as well. So,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
mm,
Like, without him, you wouldn't even been able to make it out of your situation that you made it out of.
yes,
Legit.
yes.
So, okay, next, I'm gonna ask you, what lesson did you learn from surviving that you carry with you today?
So the lesson that I feel like I've learned is what can I say that I learned from this lesson? So I can say that I learned strength from this. I've learned to, one thing now, like before, I used to kind of not never be shy, but I wouldn't speak on certain things. You can't get me to shut up now. So now it's like, I'm very outspoken. Um, what else? Like, I don't know. I just got closer to the Most High God behind this. I've actually learned strength, faith, and just, whenever you feel like you're going through something, to talk to someone. So those are the three things I can honestly say I've learned from going through this. And then if I see red flags in a relationship, I'm running. I'm not taking time to go through anything else or give chances. I'm out of here. I mean, I recently just got married, and I thank God for that. And my marriage
So,
has a full understanding of what I've been through. He has so much patience with me with everything, and he stands by me. So that's another thing that I've actually learned too. Even though you go through things in life, don't let that hold you down. As long as you
I
have
like that.
high God and you have strength, you're good. Keep on moving.
I like that. What I like is you didn't allow that situation to determine your ultimate destination. It
Mm,
was a roadblock, but you kept on going straight ahead. You kept on moving straight ahead
yes.
because some people would have allowed that to stop them from getting married again. They would
Mhm.
have said, "I can't trust a man anymore." But you like, no, I could still trust one. I just couldn't trust that one.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So how did that experience change your life and what is truly important, and change your value on what is important?
So, how did it change me? Well, honestly, I pay attention to things more now. I take time, and honestly, like if I'm unsure about things, and I don't mean to keep, getting into, faith, but I try to pray more often with things to see if, Most High can send me signals if I'm doing the right thing. So it changed me as far as it honestly, to me, it made me a more positive person. This negative thing that happened to me, I turned this negative into a positive. It made me become a better mother. It made me take better steps with just life in general. And I touched out with a lot of things.
So what is a common myth about survival? A common myth about survival.
A common myth. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that.
Right. What are some moments or memories from that experience that stand out with you the most?
From being abused. So the bad memories that I had was having to cover up things. That was like very traumatic for me due to the fact that I'm going to school and I'm going to work, and I knew people was, they knew what was happening, but a lot of people are not going to actually ask you. So that was like embarrassing for me. I don't know, that's pretty much it. I just drew a blank. I'm so sorry.
No, you are good. You are good. You are good.
hmm
So how was you able to manage still raising your kids through that situation?
Okay, again, so one thing I did notice after going through that situation, I was very overprotective of them.
Of course. I think anybody would be.
Yes, and that's what led me to go to therapy, because I didn't want to be too overprotective to where I didn't let my children have their own independence and thoughts on life. And cuz one good thing I can say, when I went through what I went through, they didn't witness it. They just seen the aftermath. So that's pretty much it. Like, just with the children and the therapy and actually talking to them more, because before that I wouldn't say how can I explain it? You know how you talk to your children, but it's, hey, have a good day in school. It's more of like a high and by thing. Y'all sit and talk time to time, but never. Now I would actually sit down and talk with them. Hey, how are you? What's going on? Just to see how they're feeling, because I didn't have that at that time. So I think that's what made me become a better parent.
I like that. I like that. So you became to them what you wish you had.
Yes, because my parents were there, but as adults, when you move out, you don't communicate with family as much as you should. Like, you have family functions and things like that,
Yeah.
other, but living it under one roof, sometimes work, school. You're never really, conversing with each other. So that's something that I'm real adamant about that. Like with my children, because my twins now, my twin boys is 19, my daughter, she's 14, and then I have a 5-year old. So even though we
So
all,
you basically started over. You got 19, 14, and then you went back to 5.
yes, that's the new marriage, baby. So from there, it's like I just try to really have a strong friendship with them as well as be their parent. Because, you know, sometimes you have parents, and this doesn't apply to mine, but this is just a general statement, that, you know, you love them, but you don't feel like a friendship bond with them. And
Right.
my children. And I'm very thankful that whenever they go through things, whether it's good or bad, they're comfortable enough to come talk to me. And that's what I love.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. So what advice, this is the last one I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to give you what we call the Will Talk moment,
Okay.
which is where we give you your spotlight and I give you your chance to shine.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to others facing similar challenges or traumas?
What advice I would give that pretty much going through this?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, anyone that's going through this, please do not feel embarrassed. Things happen in life sometimes that we may not understand or we may not want to happen. But what I feel, just again, reach out to someone that you feel that you're comfortable with, or even if it's that bad to where you was going through what I was going through, reach out to the police. They have Safe Horizon. Do what you need to do for you and yours, and just to make sure that you're safe and okay.
That's good right there. That's good. So
Mm-hmm.
now we're gonna give you what is called the Will Talk moment,
Mm-hmm.
which what that is you got as much time as you want to
Mm-hmm.
encourage somebody, to continue to encourage them, tell them where they can find you at, and tell them what you have coming up next. And the spotlight is on you.
Again, I'm Unique from Brooklyn, New York. I would like everyone to please follow me on my Instagram. It's unique_Quana Q. I also have another business Instagram, which is Unique Top Notch Entertainment. And that's also my Facebook is Unique Quana Lewy. I just want to let you know that I have a book coming out. I did an urban fiction book that should be released by next month, but my story, I'm Still Standing. I'm still currently working on that. That should be out by next year. So please like, follow, and words of encouragement for anyone that may be going through this. Again, do not feel embarrassed. Do not feel like no one is there. I went through this. I'm there. If someone needs to talk, inbox me. I've been through this. I'm here. So please, again, I thank you all for watching me, and thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you again for coming on. You're definitely coming back as the author. I'm gonna get you back on here as the author, and we're gonna have more of a not so heavy of a discussion. And I got you.
Thank you
So
very
we'll be in contact on that. And you all, once again, we thank Miss Unique for coming on and sharing with us her testimony and letting us know how that we can survive any of the situations that we are going through. So we appreciate her. You all, you have a couple of weeks until January the 1st hits and the voting starts for your Golden Triangle Music Awards, where I am nominated for Content Creator of the Year. You can go over there and vote as many times a day as you would like. Once again, to the Golden Triangle Music Awards, we appreciate the nomination. You all go on over there and vote. Voting starts on January the 1st, 2025. There will be more information said on the Facebook page as the time comes. And as I always say as we close out, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments, meaning some things that we're looking at is bad. God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. I'll see you all next week. Peace. Okay. Thank you for watching another Reverend JC3 production. We appreciate all of your support. But before you go, here's a clip from one of our favorite episodes this season.
But what do you want your life to look like? And I knew that 2010, I didn't want my life looking like that. I had started college. I was a music education major. The kids were little. I had waited on him to go to school and waited on him to figure out what he wanted to do with his life. I waited 10 years. And I feel like I've been waiting on a man for a very long time. And I got tired of waiting, and I am tired of waiting. And so I just picked up my stuff and I said, I'm going to college. I'm going to register for college because I have waited and you haven't done anything. And this is where we are. We're no better off than when we started. Yet we have 2 children that we have to take care of, and this is not going to work. So I decided I would register, and I did. And then, I was there for a good bit.
You can also follow us on every major social media site. And until next week, I'll see y'all later. Peace. Love y'all.